Soon demon spawn like you will be gone forever.
The time for words is past.
This is the story of the Harbinger Urzael, a fallen angel with the intent to burn the innocents of Westmarch. Upon returning to the Survivors' Enclave from successfully shutting down the soul crucibles around the city, we find the Angel of Death has switched tactics to speed up his soul reaving, as the sliver of the Black Soul Stone starts to shift and stir, with Tyrael stating,
"Look, the sliver is changing."
Malthael is altering the Soul Stone in some way.
Exactly. He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch in order to alter the stone, yet his purpose still eludes me.
He's killing everyone. What more do you need to know?
To stop him, we must know what he'll do next, and that requires understanding his plan.
As if in direct response to our question, a meteoric eruption reverberates from below, and a cacophony of innocent screams cry out in terror, met with more eruptions of flaming death.
Urzael has done this to finish collecting the souls of Westmarch.
Urzael. It is time for him to die. Where is he?
All I know is that he is in a tower somewhere in the Westmarch Heights, and that he will be quite rude to you. Before you set out to kill him, you should stop by my cart. I can enchant some items for you.
If we are to successfully hunt this maddened angel, we must first learn of him from one of his old brethren. So we turn to Tyrael and ask,
Tell me about Urzael.
He is Malthael's lieutenant, much the same way that Iswal was mine. He does his master's bidding without question.
Why did Malthael spare you in the tomb of Rakis?
I may be mortal, but I am not Nephilim. I have no demon blood in me, and therefore Malthael does not see me as his enemy.
And the rest of us are? Mankind has no quarrel with angels.
That is of no consequence. You are half demon to him and therefore on the wrong side of the eternal conflict.
Why does Malthael want the Black Soul Stone?
I have been thinking on that since our encounter, but every scenario I envision simply doesn't make sense, regardless of what he has become.
He must believe he can do something with it.
Trying to divine Malthael's macabre plan, we turn to the Soul Stone sliver once more, and it bristles with Malthael's own voice as he taunts. Death comes to all. Speaking of death, we see that Tyrael has not been unblemished from his encounter with Malthael and ask,
Still hurts, eh?
I have felt pain before, but nothing like this. It is different being mortal. The pain wears on you.
You get used to it or you die. Either way, it's not a problem.
I guess Tyrael becoming mortal has got more than he bargained for. It's then we turn to General Torian and commend him for his duty, saying,
Good job of it, holding off the Reapers this long.
It has been a brutal task. A lot of good men sacrificed themselves to save us.
And their sacrifice won't be in vain, friend.
You stopped their assault for now. Perhaps there is hope.
Did you send for reinforcements? Surely you have garrisons in outlying towns.
Have you not heard? Cities everywhere are under attack. No place is safe.
Yes, Malthael strikes all across Sanctuary.
I hadn't heard. This is much larger than I knew.
Our situation is dire. There is no backup. As Malthael's final gambit has been commenced, he intends to reap every soul in Westmarch. It's before we hunt down Urzael do we turn to the lone Horodrim Lorath Nar once more, who guides.
Why take the Black Soul Stone from heaven? Why not simply destroy it?
The Black Soul Stone was made by a man, unlike previous Soul Stones. We had no idea what would happen if we destroyed it. It seemed a better idea to hide it away forever. We had no way of knowing that Malthael was watching us the entire time. How could we?
And if we get it back from Malthael, what then?
I don't know. But it's better for us to have the stone than Malthael. If we make it that far, we'll worry about what to do next. Tyrael told me of your actions. You killed Diablo himself.
I did what was necessary.
I don't know that the world will ever understand what it took to face such pure evil.
That does not concern me. The prime evil is gone, and that's what matters.
My father was the commander of the Knights of Westmarch. He assumed I would become a soldier, just like him.
Ah, you felt a call to do something else.
I grew up on stories of the fearless Horadrim, Tal Rasha, Jared Kane. That was what I wanted to be. My father thought it was all myth. Wasn't he surprised when I actually became one of them? Can I ask you about Deckard Kane?
He certainly enjoyed the sound of his own voice, but no one could tell a story like Deckard. I miss him, but good men and women die fighting for their cause every day. All we can do is carry on.
And you just forget about them?
Oh, I never forget. But standing around talking about them doesn't honor their memory, does it?
Speaking of standing around, we've been far too long idle as Westmarch burns. And before we leave the town, we check on the remaining survivors in the Enclave, starting with one Ivy to the south, concern etched upon her face.
And now I hear those Reapers are taking people's souls? This is madness!
Madness? Absolutely. But we fear this is Westmarch's new normal. As we head into the courtyard of the Survivors' Enclave, we once again see the couple that we saved, and speak to the quartermaster's wife, Emily, who says,
"Is this truly the work of angels? I don't understand. How could they?"
Yes, some of the angels have gone mad, but I will put them down.
Good.
Madness, it seems, is spreading as we see a preacher on a soapbox with a concerning message.
Those who perish without embracing Malthael are eternally damned. But I can commune with our Lord, asking him to grant them a reprieve. Only a simple payment is required.
Bless my poor husband, please!
You must save my children!
Please, my friends, one at a time. Bring your offerings to the stand, and I will grant your loved ones this blessing.
We'd cut down this profiteering scum where he stood if we didn't fear it would make him a martyr in the eyes of the people, who are more vulnerable than ever. To the southwest we see Lord Harold Snow, who wears greed in these times like an ugly cologne.
You are a quiet sort, Serena. Sneak back home and fetch some of our savings.
But the streets are crawling with those horrid creatures.
That's precisely why you must go, dearest. Nobody notices you.
We take pause, reminded of a certain scoundrel we encountered, and no, we shouldn't tell him about this. He might get some ideas. And then we head back to the courtyard to the voluptuous Miriam, who has set up shop as promised, as she readily prophesizes.
What else can I tell you? I had a vision of death blanketing our world. So I left my people, my family, to come help you.
I left home and family for a great cause as well. I understand your sacrifice.
It was no sacrifice. We Vetchen often receive visions telling us when it is time to find a new family. I've had many in my life. I still love and miss each and every one of them. Except for Jonah. I never really liked that one.
Although curious about Miriam's many lives, or wives, husbands, families, it's really just hard to keep track. Except for this Jonah, we must keep focus on the task and ask her about the mad angel Urzael.
What can you tell me about Urzael?
Well, he seems to have an affinity for fire. I'd watch out for that if I were you.
I noticed. What else?
Urzael was sent to find Malthael by our friend Tyrael. He blames himself for what Urzael has become.
As if it's Tyrael's fault, but we know of his past with Iswal and can see the connection. It's then we head through the northeastern corner to Lord Vermilion, who imparts wisdom.
My mother warned me about the poor. They want my wealth, but they don't want to work for it. And now they've created an army of death creatures. Well, when I'm king, I'll just show them. We're not going to die, are we? Tell me we're not going to die. I don't want to lose my soul. I know who is responsible for this. It's the poor. They've summoned these monstrosities.
A special brand of wisdom we don't have time for.
Why fight so hard? Thousands are dead. What do another dozen matter?
The malaise of madness has spread like a plague. Base emotions of fear and greed have taken hold. It's time to bring these people hope. Something Sophia seems to have experienced thanks to a new partner.
If you hadn't come along when you did, I don't know what might have happened.
It was the least I could do. Anyone would have done the same.
But you didn't have to help. You could have run right by.
It's heartwarming to witness an act of kindness before we hunt down Urzael in the Westmarch Heights. And there's no more time for dallying as the city burns all around us. The incessant howl of the inferno echoes in our ears. And as oxygen leaves our lungs, filled with a thick smoke, we begin our trek northeast through the streets searching for the Tower of Corellan, where Urzael hides, but not before Malthael appears before us.
Death comes for all.
Or rather, a spirit of Malthael to taunt us. As we step over the burning bodies and put down the lingering undead, we see the outline of a man seeming trapped in a house. Poor man with his loved ones around him holding an axe, looking disheveled. We try guiding him to safety, but he replies,
I wouldn't stay here, friend. It's a bit unsafe.
No, I must prove myself to death. Prove I am worthy to gather the souls that sustain him.
It's then the mad bastard attacks us with his axe and we're forced to put him down.
Yes!
His journal reveals his motives.
I can hear them. The voices speak to me again. What? Death is coming? But I can't die. I can't. I am too important to have my life just thrown away. Please, tell me how I can avoid my fate. You want me to do what? Must I? Oh, yes. Yes, I will. I swear it. I will do anything.
The psychosis some of the citizens are suffering is so much worse than we first thought. Speaking of madness, to the southwest we enter the Clyfton Hall and see soldiers standing around their dead brothers. As we make our way into the throne room, we see Lord Winton himself, the very man the king had praised, and he's standing over the lifeless body of the fallen king.
It is done. The bloodline of Rakis will once again sit on the throne of Westmarch.
And that would be you?
My grandmother was the daughter of Corellan, but he would not claim her because she was born of a courtesan, not a queen. With the peasants supporting me, Westmarch will become a place of freedom and equality. The idle rich will be no more. Of course, there will be some bloodshed. We must make a few examples, consolidate our power, a small price to pay.
You betray your king, while the people of Westmarch are massacred in the streets. You are not worthy of the throne.
I have spent my whole life preparing for this day, Crusader!
As the delirious and deranged next despot of Westmarch starts to attack, his men fall upon us. If he was indeed a benevolent king beloved by the peasants, why would he have mages there to bubble and insulate him from damage? No, he is a power-hungry fool like the rest of them. And so we tear down his mages and his insulated wall. May his rule be cut short, as he did that to the true king. It's then we head to the gore-soaked corpse of King Justinian and find his journal with its final entry, which reads,
I have come to realize that my personal feelings are of no consequence. My people are dying, and they need their king. Our resistance starts today, and Lord Winton, of all people, has provided the means. These reapers shall not have Westmarch. I swear my life on it.
Unfortunately, the poor king's life was already forfeit the moment that he trusted Lord Winton. We leave the hall behind and try and pick up where he left off and save the people of Westmarch. And it's to the northwest we find the Tower of Corellan, the very lineage that ironically Lord Winton had claimed. The tower internally remained unmolested, and as we ascend the stairs, we sense a malevolent presence above.
My master has begun his work on the stone. Nothing that you do matters.
Like Tyrael's former lieutenant, Urzael seems to be covered in demonic flesh, forgoing his angelic ways. And as he sets himself ablaze, he begins to bring the tower down all around us, firing at us with his large cannon that he uses to launch himself to and fro. Sensing we're not totally defenseless to his attack, he becomes enraged, and the second phase of his assault begins.
The demon spawn shall perish in flames!
Urzael seems just as mad as the denizens below. His cannon morphs into a macabre dragon as he begins to bring down the walls around us. Our only hope is to fight fire with fire, beginning our own assault as the demon is hit square in the chest with a bolt of our holy shield and burns in the light.
Nothing stops the crusade.
As Urzael's broken, bloated body slumps to the floor, Malthael again appears. His twisted spirit then promises,
Nephilim, I will bring an end to conflict. In death there is peace.
We will speak again, Malthael.
With Urzael now dead, the embers and blaze seem to subside just partially, and we see hope returning to the eyes of the citizens. It's then we meet Tyrael at the Survivors' Enclave, who says,
Urzael is dead, and without his leadership, the Reapers should be easy for Torian's men to finish off.
You have saved Westmarch, my friend.
But we still don't know why Malthael wants the stone, and he grows stronger by the moment. We are running out of time.
That strange woman you brought here believes she can help. She insisted on speaking with you immediately.
And so we are tasked with speaking to Miriam once more. But that's the end of the episode. Make sure to like and subscribe for more dark lore as we attempt to save more souls in the next episode.